Hi guys, so I'm currently making a Warhammer 40k chess set and obviously need loads of figures. So those lovely people over at Firestorm Games recently sent me a big box of Orcs. There's a link down in the description guys where you can go and have a look at what they do over at Firestorm Games. As you can see, tons of little miniatures and games and bits and pieces. I do have an affiliate link, so click on that guys, as if you do buy something I get a few pennies from it. So yeah, this is the box that turned up, and as you can see, well, it's one of the biggest boxes of miniatures I've ever had. There's just loads in here. So to say I was excited would be an understatement. Yeah, let's crack on, get these bad boys out and see exactly what we've got. So I do have a rough idea of which kind of orcs I want to use as replacements, obviously, for the chess pieces. And the first ones I'm going to do are the pawns. So for this, I'm just going to obviously have normal orc boys. They'll be the pawns, and I've got a variety of other sort of orcs that I'm going to use for the sort of the king, the queen, the rook, castles, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so this box, there's a few bits in here I'll be using. And I say the main one is going to be the orc boys, which is pretty cool because there's loads in here. Certainly more than I need for the chess set, which is great because I'll be able to have some spare bodies that I'll be able to use for other things. So here's the lovely sprues that I'll be cutting up. And obviously to cut them up, I need my little snips. And then we can use this little blade to clean up any edges. And then obviously some glue. So yeah, these figures, as usual, Warhammer stuff, always pretty awesome. With lots and lots of detail, which is pretty cool. So these figures, unlike a lot of the recent ones I've been assembling, these ones, there's not really a lot you can sort of customize with them. As in, these come in sort of like, generally about 3 parts to each figure. And obviously the guns or the arms are kind of like semi-attached to the bodies as well. So it is just a case of, you have to cut out the 3 you need, and yeah, glue them bits together. So you can't sort of mix and match, which is a bit of a shame. But I'm guessing this must be like the older style orcs, or older style figures. Because the more recent ones, you can definitely sort of move the arms about and, well, mix and match quite a lot more. The other thing I did notice with these is there's a lot more mould lines. Certainly something you don't really see a lot of in the newer figures that they do. But again, I can only imagine that these must be the older sets. I mean, you guys know better than me. Let me know, are these like the older sort of style miniatures that Warhammer do, or Games Workshop does, and obviously the newer ones, well, the ones that you can customize more. But either way, so these figures, really nice, go together really well. These ones are actually just sort of push fit. You don't have to glue them. But I couldn't help myself, so obviously I have glued them. Just because I kind of always glue figures together. So the fact that these don't need gluing is kind of weird. But obviously I'm not going to ever take them apart. So yeah, I wanted to glue them together just to make sure that once they're together, that's it. Yeah, there's no coming apart. But yeah, look at him, nice and chunky. So I've always loved orcs, and these dudes are gorgeous. And yeah, some of the old like push fit, they've also got this little clip or knob-in bit at the bottom that clips into the base, which is kind of cool. But obviously I don't need that because I'm putting these on some clear bases. Yeah, and just as you can see there, guys, I am drilling barrels. Just because I know there's several people that sort of really get quite offensive if you don't drill barrels. But to be fair, it does look better with a gun being drilled. So yeah, I'm going to go through and drill all of these. Nice and simple. And yeah, once he's done, he's on a base ready to be painted. So obviously I'm not going to paint one at a time. I'm going to paint them all together. So it is then a case of going through, cutting off and gluing the rest of them. Which I say, it was nice and simple, nice and easy. Yeah, really enjoyed it. So other than the fact that there was quite a bit of cleaning up to do on mould lines, yeah, nice figures. So it didn't take long to get all the figures glued together, and obviously on my little painting bases ready to be painted. And the great thing was there's 8 orcs here, all of a different style, which is really nice because obviously say these are going to be the pawns on my chess set. So the fact they are all different will really look good when I come to play the game. So yeah, here we go. Usual sort of style now, guys. If you've been watching a lot of my videos for the last 2 months now, I think, this is my go-to style of painting. So prime in black, and then start with a dry brush in a grey. I have done a few other colours using for the dry brush. I've used like a sandy colour. Obviously it does give a different sort of effect when you put the contrast paints on. But for these guys, as I painted my Orc Kill Team Commandos in this sort of style, I'm doing exactly the same thing here, just because I liked how they came out. So yeah, dry brush with grey, and then we go over and dry brush with white. anyone who is new to painting, I can't recommend doing this technique enough. I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again. It used to take me about 3-4 hours to paint one miniature, and even when I painted it, I was never happy with how it looked. And for the first couple of years of this channel, doing obviously miniature things, I kind of steered away from any kind of miniatures because I absolutely hated painting them, never happy with the results, and just felt like I'd wasted 3-4 hours of my life. Whereas now, you'll see that these guys, say there was 8 in total, all painted within 3-4 hours to what I can only say as a standard I don't think I'd ever achieve. And yet it's so simple, so easy. So yeah, it doesn't take long to obviously do these first couple of stages. There's only 3 stages to this painting technique. Obviously, first one, prime in black. Second one is do your dry brushing with the grey and the white. And then the third and final one, again, just as easy as these, is where you do your razzle dazzle technique. I doubt very much that'll catch on, but you never know. There's loads of names going around for this. So yeah, when I do a batch paint, I always paint one first, just to make sure I'm happy with the colour scheme and how he all looks, and then I'm ready to do all the others. So I'm using the Plague Bearers contrast paint here for the orc skin, just because I've done this for the last few orcs I've done it in this colour, and well, absolutely love it. It's the best green orc I've ever done, and yeah, I've now got loads of orcs, which is great because I love these guys. And anyone familiar with my channel who's been here a while will know I did have one painted orc for about 2 years, and he was called the Lonely Orc, mainly because of just that. He was like the only sort of miniature I've sort of fully painted. There may have been a couple of others, but it pretty much was just the Lonely Orc for quite some time. Purely because I didn't like painting, or I didn't enjoy painting, and the results I got from painting were just pants. Whereas say now, these guys, literally 3 hours, give or take, 8 miniatures, fully painted, to a standard that I didn't think I could ever achieve. And yeah, absolutely love these guys. So guys, don't forget to check out Firestorm Games if you are into any sort of like Warhammer figures or other kind of like board games, bits and pieces. So link in the description. So thank you very much to them guys again for sending me this box for free. As yeah, I'll be able to use lots of the figures for this chess set. Also want to say a big shout out and thank you to obviously all my patrons for helping support the channel, as well as my sponsors, because you guys make it possible for me to keep making videos, as obviously there are quite a lot of bits and pieces I do need to buy. And yeah, because of your help I can buy them. And obviously if you want to see what I'm currently working on before it comes out on YouTube, then yeah, consider becoming a patron, as I do post pictures on there, well, every week, sometimes every day, depending on what I'm currently working on. And yeah, obviously the guys over there have been able to see what I've been doing on my chess set so far, as obviously I have been building the board. So yeah, cheers guys, thanks so much. As you can see, I do use a variety of the speed paints, contrast paints, and also the dipping inks from Green Stuff World. There are a few other companies out there that make similar sort of paints to these, and hopefully I'm going to be trying out some of those as well soon, which will be pretty cool, as these are, well, this is now my go-to painting technique, just because the results are fantastic. And yeah, obviously the time taken is very minimal to get, say, a full kill team or Warhammer team, or even just single figures, can be painted so much quicker, and say in my case so much better using this technique. So whether you call it slap chop, underpainting, griselle, or even razzle dazzle, whatever you want to call this technique, yeah, I can't recommend this enough to any painters out there that are like me, fairly new to painting, or didn't get on with painting, or just a noob at painting, or first time painter. Yeah, I would highly recommend giving this technique a go, just because it is so simple with yeah, with great results. So I do use some paints that aren't sort of contrast paints, and obviously one of those is the metallic colours. So in this case, obviously I'm putting some silver over. But when I do the sort of non-metallic paints, or the silvers, or any of these other colours, I kind of don't sort of paint sort of fully, as you can see, I'm almost sort of dabbing it rather than painting it, just because I like to sort of see some of the dry brushing still come through. But obviously once this has all dried, I do go over any of the paints that aren't contrast paint with a wash. And the one I generally use is a nice light brown wash. But obviously where possible, I will use as many of the sort of speed paints, contrast paints, all of those ones I've got, just because again, obviously nice and quicker, and I just love the results. Yeah, doing that sort of dry brushing underneath, and obviously the fact that it shows through, it just makes the speed paints, well, makes them just pop so much more. I mean, obviously you could just use speed paints on a white sort of primed miniature, which is what I used to do. And yeah, the results weren't too bad. Certainly better than the results I used to get when I was sort of just painting with normal colours. But yeah, doing this, the dry brushing underneath just really enhances and makes the speed paints and contrast paints work so much better. Well, definitely in my opinion anyway. Again, we're all different. We all have different ways of painting, and we all like the look of different things. So for some people, they might not like this style. They might prefer sort of building their paints up sort of layer by layer. But yeah, for me, this is definitely my preferred method. And so yeah, anyone new to sort of painting, would highly recommend giving this a go, just because I think you'd be very happy with the results. While I am just finishing off the last few bits, don't forget guys, let me know in the comments what you thought of this video and what else you might want to see me do on this channel, as obviously I do like to read your comments and reply to them, and it's obviously great to sort of see what you guys think of what I'm doing, and yeah, what else you might want to see on this channel. And if you can guys, hit that thumbs up button. Again, it's another sort of simple thing that you can do, but it really does help the channel out so much, as obviously it helps promote it to more and more people, which would be pretty cool. I just want to thank Firestorm Games again for sending me this rather lovely, huge, big box. As I say, honestly, it's like I was a kid at Christmas morning. I love Orcs, and to get a box just absolutely full of the things is awesome. And there's a few things in there I've never painted. Like they've got Death Copters. So yeah, Flying Orcs. So look out for them soon as well, guys. I might turn them into some sort of diorama, actually. Yeah, paint it red and have it crashed. Or something similar. Yeah, so last few stages. Again, I kind of like generally do all the painting. And then once it's all done, then do the wash on any of the non-speed painty kind of things. Obviously, two reasons for this. One, obviously, if you don't put a wash on it, or in my case, if I don't put a wash on it, it just looks too clean, too neat, too tidy. Especially compared to the fact, obviously, the speed paints have left nice sort of, well, dark shadows in the recesses, highlights, and all the rest of it. So yeah, just applying a wash just helps give that a little bit more of an effect. Plus, I do like my figures to look worn and battle ready, which these guys definitely do. So yeah, they pop off the bases. So they were just glued onto these bases with a little, well, a little drop of super glue. But yeah, they pop off nice and easy. The bases aren't too bad, or the feet aren't too bad. They're just a little bit of paint, sort of has probably gone over where the glue might have sort of spilled out. So it requires a little bit of cleaning, but not by any great deal. As you can see, just normally with my fingers, just pulling the bits off. And yeah, so these are going to go on clear bases, which is what I normally do. But the clear bases I've recently done have got magnets in the centre. And again, if you have been following me on Patreon, you'll realise the reason for this is the board that I'm making for the chess set also has magnets on it. So these little dudes are magnetised to sort of, well, go on the chessboard so they won't fall off. Not that I can see you'd pick the chessboard up to turn it upside down, but you never know. So yeah, so these are obviously all magnetised. And the chessboard I'm making is going to be quite a big chessboard, because it's going to have a compartment or two compartments in it that hold all the figures when they're not actually in use. Yeah, so that's it guys. I'm really pleased with how these have come out. And so yeah, these are the pawn equivalent for my my chess set. There's 8 of them, which is lovely, all looking nice and different and all magnetised. So yeah, so the first figures that are all fully done. I have just recently done the king. I'm just waiting for a bigger base for him to turn up. And yeah, so here you go, a little sneak peek of how the top of the chess board is looking. The reason for using the grills, I'm actually going to have some lights underneath the chess set, just so it can be illuminated, which I think will be pretty cool effect. And yeah, so I just love the magnets, even on the clear bases, are just pretty cool. Again, I wanted the clear bases because obviously I love clear bases. Because this board is going to be lit from underneath, it'll be nice so that you can still see the light shining through. Okay guys, that's enough waffle for me in this one. You all take care, like, share, subscribe, be good to each other, all that kind of good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.